life on the homestead doesn't always go how we want it to.
Oh!
It is day 8, I believe, with our eggs, and so I'm going to candle them to see how our growth is progressing, and we'll remove any eggs that look like they are duds. Okay, so you can't get special contraptions to candle eggs. We're low tech, so we're going to use a flashlight. And then I also have a pencil to make little marks on the shells to indicate which egg is which. So we're here in the bathroom, because that's our one room in the house that has no windows, and we can get it really, really dark. We have our trusty flashlight. The light's gonna be funky in here, so bear with us. And we're gonna see what we can find. What we're looking for is if an egg is developing, at this point we should see veining in the egg, like spiderweb veins. And we also should see potentially a little air pocket. If an egg is if we're just seeing a yolk or we're seeing like a blood ring around an egg, it's not viable and we need to be probably removing it from the incubator so it doesn't get rotten and explode in there. So what I'm doing is I'm holding my flashlight up, I'm kind of cupping my hand around it and then holding the egg on top. So this first egg, I don't see any veining. I mean, I can see the yolk here, but there is not any development. So I would say this egg is probably a no-go. This would be what you'd call a yolker, which just means it's just a yolk. Okay, so this egg, though, look at the difference. Can you see there's a dot, there's all kinds of veining all over. There's a little air bubble there. This egg is definitely viable. This is a good one. This shell is a little tricky because it has mottling on it, so it's hard to see, but I do believe we have growth there. And I'm gonna keep this guy for now. So Mace is gonna try her hands. Okay, so get your one hand kind of cupped around the flashlight, yep, and then put the egg big side up on top of the flashlight. Okay, shut the light off. What do you see?
I can see an air bubble.
Air bubble, do you see any veining?
I see a little bit there.
All right, so with this one, we're kind of thinking this is not viable. I wish we could see it better on camera, guys, my apologies. But there's a few questionable maybe lines that could be veins, but nothing is definitive of those other eggs. So we might set this one aside. How many do we have that we feel are pretty viable?
19.
19, and how many do we have that are for sure no?
5.
5, okay. That feels pretty good, but I know there are some that we're keeping. There are some that we're just kind of undetermined, that we're not quite confident enough to call as undeveloped yet. Like the shells sometimes were speckled or we just had questions. So we're gonna keep incubating them and then candle them again in a week just to give them a little bit more of a chance, but odds are some more of these guys will be kicked out before we start hatching. You guys wanna break open the ones we know are no good and see what they look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want
Jed,
to hear
no
so I
eggs
can
for you.
see better.
So here we go. X egg number 1.
Just looks normal.
Yep, does look normal. So that was a good call, right? We were correct that that egg was not developing. It probably wasn't fertilized, so I'm glad we pulled it out.
Normal.
Normal, it looks like a regular egg.
Up there's the air. I just saw the air.
Adjust and pry it open. Stick your finger in the crack.
This
Pry
crack.
it open. Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Now kind of pull the rest of the shell apart. There you go. All right, eggs are marked. Putting a little towel here to just take up the space of the ones we removed so we don't clunk around. So we'll keep watching the temperature and humidity, and then I'll probably candle one more time in about another 6 or 7 days, and then no more candling until they hatch. Okay, it is day 14 and we're going to candle for the last time. Okay, Dad, you are not invited to this party. I know you would love to come. Sorry, buddy. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, guys, but I think we have a chick in this egg. It's a lot different than last time. There's not veining now. We're actually having development. This one had a question mark on it from last time, and it's definitely a completely different look. Like we had some development here, but it is stunted, it stopped growing. So we're gonna pull this one out of the incubator so it doesn't explode and get stinky.
I think that's a good one. I give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say,
Okay, I can see, oh boy, ew. I don't know if you can see this, but I can see a line right here.
that's the air sac.
Okay.
Air
Yeah.
sacs.
That's, air
That's the air
sacs are
sac.
good.
Yeah.
That's how the chicks breathe.
Right.
Is those air things on the top for the chicks to
You
breathe?
have to have air in there for them.
And like they poke a hole and then they can breathe it?
Kind of. I mean, they're gonna breathe air. Once they poke out of their eggs, they're gonna breathe the air outside.
No.
Okay, so here's what we're keeping. Here's what we're discarding. I feel like some of these are probably not completely viable, but since we are still beginner egg candlers, we're just kind of doing the best we can. We'll see what happens on hatching day, right?
Right.
While we're in here, we'll check our water. Yeah, add a little water. Make sure our humidity is good.
That's where the water is?
Yep, I'm gonna make it humid in there because the eggs need humidity.
And that goes in the eggs?
We're gonna make sure we're putting them all pointy side down. Okay, you guys wanna crack those eggs and see what they look like?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Ooh, it's slimy. Let's see. Oh boy. Oh. Wow. Oh.
It started, guys, but it was not where it should be at this point. So I would say it's a good call that we pulled that one out. So we're looking at this website. I don't know if you can see this on camera. So I feel like this embryo was somewhere between the 5 and 10 day mark. And then if we're down here in the, whoa, sorry, focus. 14 to 15 day, we should have had that much development by now, and we didn't. We just kind of have the blob. So I get a little nervous that we're gonna have pulled one that was viable.
Ooh, that's a little bud. That was a good call.
Didn't even develop. I see the air sac at just a tiny.
Yeah, that was a good call. It definitely was fertilized. It definitely started, but it stopped a long time ago. So the morning of day 18 of our incubation, and it's time to lock it down. Okay, I took the rocker off the turner. So if you were turning your eggs by hand, you would stop turning them on day 18. All the water filled, we have our turner off. I have my eggs flat. Now with this vent, because I want the humidity to be a little higher during this lockdown phase, I'm going to shut the vent a little bit, leave it about 1/3 of the way open. But I don't want it all the way open because I want to make sure that it's plenty humid. A little reminder, because I have a feeling I will go on autopilot and just come over here and take the lid off. So now we just wait, make sure our temperature stays the same. I'm gonna not open the lid unless it's an absolute emergency, which I can't really imagine what that would be. And we'll be back on day 21 as the hatching commences. It's day 21, it's hatching day. There is no action so far. Been watching all day. We're just gonna keep watching and see how this goes. If I take the lid off now, it'll suck all the humidity out of here and it will harm the hatching process. So it's day 23 and it's not looking good, my friends. So it is day 24 and there has been no action whatsoever, not even a little bit. So I am almost positive they're all dead. If there was some life in there, I should be hearing some peeping noises coming from inside the eggs. I should see the pipping where they start to peck out of the egg, but there's nothing. Like, I have not seen one single sign of life. I'm going to leave them until tomorrow, day 25. That's what most people recommend. I'm not hopeful that something will magically happen overnight, but I just want to be extra cautious and not, dump them out when they're still viable. Tomorrow we will do some egg topsy to see if we can figure out what went wrong. I suspect it has to do with humidity level, either being too high or too low, but that's just speculation at this point. So we're gonna see what we find tomorrow. It is day 25. There has been no action as I expected. Nothing changed since yesterday. So we are going to crack these open to see what they look like inside. I'm a little nervous. There's been no pipping or anything. Good. Oh boy.
He is.
Huh?
Feels like he's grown.
Did it ever try?
No.
Well, the air
I mean, it looks like the air pocket on that one was huge.
Yeah, that was really big.
So I feel like maybe there was not enough moisture. But it's not like they even tried to get through the membrane.
Oh.
Ooh, that one is.
that one like didn't even.
That one didn't even.
That one was behind.
Was that an?
The air pocket's on the other end of it.
Yeah. It's all about the air pocket and how easily they can access.
Look at how white that thing is.
Is that breathing? Okay, now I'm super freaked out because there was one that was alive and I wasn't expecting that. So I want to do some more checking before we open the others. I was not expecting for there to be a chick still alive in the eggs when we cracked them, and I feel really bad for cracking it. I'm kind of at a loss right now. I don't even know what to do next. I mean, obviously there was a couple that we cracked initially that were definitely dead. So something's definitely wrong with our incubator. Like there is something off. But the fact that there was one alive when we cracked it open, and once you crack it open, it's too late to save it. I'm hesitant to just crack all the rest of these open in case there's a couple more that still have a chance. But it's like day 25 and it's really late for them to still be hatching. There is one test called the float test that I would not do until we were at the point of desperation, which is where we are now. But you can float the eggs in a bowl of water and that can give you some more info. So we're gonna try that right now just because I am desperate for data at this point. So we have a bowl of warm water and the eggs that I'm too scared to open at this point. And let's see if this works. Do you see the difference? How they're like, that was tilted right away and that one didn't?
That one's got an angle to it.
That one's angled too. So I'm not sure the float test is helping me. I feel like it's maybe causing more confusion. A lot of these eggs are floating mostly below the water, but they're kind of vertical in their orientation, which some websites say is vertical is bad. Some say it doesn't matter. So I'm just really confused right now. Okay, so we're gonna candle these again. Now, the problem with candling this late in the game is they're filling up so much of the shell, you're not gonna be able to see much, but I just wanna see if I can see any movement whatsoever in these eggs. There's the air pocket. I mean, if we hold it really still, can we see any movement? It looks like I don't know, is that like the beak? And it's wrapped around like that. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any, do you see any movement?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming that's the chick wrapped around like that, but I don't see it.
It looks like it's the beak. Go.
Now, do you see that? I think that air pocket's way too big. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I think that this one was a victim of too little humidity. So we floated them, I candled them, I marked the air pocket on these, and we're gonna crack a few more just because we've got to figure this out.
So where's the air pocket? Above the line?
Okay, so I drew the line where the air pocket is. So start on this end cracking it. Crack open to the air pocket and you don't hurt the membrane around the chick, then you potentially could salvage the egg, which I don't feel like that's gonna happen. I don't feel like there's a high probability of that happening, but I'm just trying to be careful. It should have been, I mean, you sometimes can see it poking into the, they're gonna come out, pip through the air pocket first, and he's not anywhere oriented to even start pipping through the air pocket.
Okay, now I can smell it. Okay, gross.
You smell it?
I can smell it over there.
It smells bad?
Yes.
Okay.
Can't smell anything.
Your nose doesn't work very well.
It works.
I go
Close
over
quarters.
there. It smells. Woo, that is.
So it's not super dry. I mean, you can tell it's moist underneath in that membrane.
Okay.
This membrane is dry obviously on the outside. So if we were to break into the whole thing, I guarantee you it's going to be a lot wetter.
Yeah, I know. I just wonder if it was too tough for him to get up to start moving around in. But the problem is more about there's his beak. Yeah.
Looks like it tried to.
The problem is that it's moist inside, but he just can't get through that tough part. But they hadn't even started trying. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the membrane issue. Is all the yolk absorbed? It does feel like it's a little young. So I wonder if it died on like day 18-ish.
Why would you think that?
It just looks like not completely developed.
It looks all
I mean, it's pretty developed.
Still got part of it's like abdomen right there.
He was not ready to hatch. So that one maybe, I don't know, maybe that one wasn't the humidity.
That one could have made it. It doesn't. It looks like his belly did.
I don't know that that's a humidity problem.
Something happened in growth. So this one, the yolk is like not even absorbed. So he's stopped growing a long time ago. So that was a lot of information and a lot of unknowns, but here's what it all distills down to. We opened all the eggs. There were 2 alive when we opened them, which I do feel really bad about, but I do not think they would have made it regardless. The rest of them all showed the same thing. I think they all stopped developing around day 18 or 19 because we learned that thing hanging out of their belly was the yolk sac, and that is one of the last things to kind of be sucked up into them and close up before they start to hatch. That was a problem, and I don't know what caused everyone to die at day 18 or 19, but we're going to be doing some more research into that. From what I can tell at this point, it was potentially something wrong with the humidity or the temperature. So to remedy that problem, I have ordered a new thermometer. I'm not quite willing to trust the thermometer in my incubator anymore. And so I have another thermometer that'll be coming before our next incubation starts, and it'll tell us the exact temperature and the exact humidity, so we don't have to guess. So I feel better now that we have some data to go off of. It's definitely not the outcome I wanted for this video. I was predicting this video would be our happy hatching video, but I guess this is a good lesson that life on the homestead doesn't always go how we want it to. Failure happens, even to people who've been homesteading a long time, and you just got to use it as a learning opportunity, and hopefully this video will help some of you guys who are hatching or wanting to hatch in the future, and you can learn from our mistakes and do things better. So if you'd like our thought process as to why we're incubating our own chicks this year and how we got started, check out this video.